For decades, the .380 ACP was dismissed as a marginal self-defense cartridge. Veterans of the gun world often counseled newcomers to at least get a 9mm, and many shooters equated the diminutive cartridge with underpowered, unreliable pocket pistols. Yet the popularity of concealed carry and rapid advances in both ammunition and firearm design have given the puny .380 a second life. Modern defensive loads deliver energy, expansion, and penetration that would have been inconceivable in earlier generations, while pocket-sized pistols benefit from improved ergonomics, sights, and reliability. This renaissance has been so significant that entire categories of purpose-built defensive ammunition now exist for .380 ACP. The following review dives into 6 standout loads that illustrate why the .380 is no longer a last-ditch backup, but a credible primary option for deep concealment. Each load is assessed using different criteria, from cutting-edge bullet technology to recoil management, to show the breadth of performance offered by today's .380 ACP. Hornady's critical defense line was one of the first to challenge the perception that .380 ACP couldn't perform. The FTX, flex tip expanding, bullet uses a red polymer plug at the hollow point's nose to prevent clogging in clothing and initiate reliable expansion. The .380 ACP 90-grain load runs between 900 and 1,000 feet per second and is optimized for short-barreled pocket pistols. Because of its low mass and polymer tip, recoil remains manageable in ultra-compact guns, and the round feeds reliably even in pistols that are picky about jacketed hollow points. Ballistic testing reveals both strengths and limitations. In Target Barnes' 2024 gel test, the 90-grain FTX penetrated between roughly 10 and 19 inches in synthetic gel with heavy clothing. 2 rounds fell short of the FBI's 12-inch minimum, and 1 over-penetrated due to a failure to expand. Average expansion was 0.448 inches, less than the ideal 0.5325 inches, 1.5 times caliber, but the soft tip did ensure that 4 of 5 bullets opened up. Although expansion is inconsistent, the round's energy, approximately 970 feet per second and 188 foot-pounds, and controlled recoil make follow-up shots easier and help mitigate the perception that .380 ACP lacks stopping power. The critical defense load's biggest advantage is practicality. Many carriers choose .380 pistols precisely because they are small and light. This load complements that design philosophy by delivering dependable expansion and low recoil in guns like the Ruger LCP and Smith & Wesson M&P Bodyguard. Its nickel-plated cases, temporarily replaced by brass because of supply chain issues, also resist corrosion and aid extraction. For shooters seeking a balance between expansion and shootability in a highly concealable package, Hornady's FTX remains a benchmark. Federal's Hydra-Shok was a popular defensive design in the 1990s, but engineers recognized that the original tapered center post could be improved. Hydra-Shok Deep introduces a beefier center post that directs material into the bullet's cavity for greater expansion and controlled penetration. The .380 ACP variant, released in 2021, propels a 99-grain projectile at a listed 1,000 feet per second, generating roughly 220 foot-pounds of energy. This is unusually high for the caliber and directly challenges the notion that .380 ACP cannot deliver adequate stopping power. The Armory Life's gel test demonstrates how the new design translates to performance. 2 of 3 rounds fired from a Springfield 911 pocket pistol penetrated completely through a 16-inch clear ballistics block, while the remaining round traveled 13.5 inches and expanded fully. These results indicate a penetration depth at or beyond the FBI's 12 to 18-inch window, addressing criticisms that .380 rounds rarely achieve adequate penetration. Importantly, the bullet retained its weight and exhibited controlled expansion due to the conical center post. The Hydra-Shok Deep's barrier performance is also notable. The bullet's design and heavier weight help it push through clothing without clogging. Practical considerations make this load appealing for carrying. Even with its relatively high energy, recoil remained manageable in the lightweight Springfield 911 test gun. The 2.7-inch barrel, typical of pocket pistols, still achieved velocities approaching specification, suggesting consistent performance in real-world guns. For carriers who prioritize penetration but want to stay within the .380 ACP platform, the Hydra-Shok Deep provides a modern solution that bridges the gap between mouse gun ballistics and full-power performance. Winchester's PD-X1 Defender line uses bonded jacketed hollow points to ensure the bullet retains its weight and expands consistently, even after encountering fabric or intermediate barriers. Shooting Illustrated notes that the 380 ACP 95 grain PDX-1 operates at roughly 850 feet per second, making it controllable from super compact handguns. The bonded design helps the bullet expand widely while holding together, and tests show penetration to almost 10 inches in 10% ordnance gelatin. While 10 inches falls short of the FBI's 12-inch minimum, the PDX-1 offers several advantages for concealed carry practitioners. Its moderate velocity and 95 grain weight create a manageable recoil impulse, which is especially beneficial for shooters with limited hand strength or those seeking faster follow-up shots. The bullet's bonded jacket reduces the likelihood of jacket separation, meaning it maintains a consistent wound channel and tends to avoid fragmentation. Desirable traits in urban environments where overpenetration is a concern. Winchester's marketing emphasizes that the load performs well after passing through heavy clothing thanks to the PDX-1 cavity design. From a market perspective, the PDX-1 occupies a niche between lighter, faster rounds and heavier, deep-penetrating designs. It appeals to carriers who favor controllability and expansion over raw penetration. Its performance profile makes it particularly suitable for extremely small pistols like the Ruger LCP-2 or Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, where higher pressure loads may create harsh recoil or unreliable cycling. The PDX-1 is also widely available and competitively priced, making it a common choice for first-time carriers who want a branded law enforcement-inspired round without moving up to 9mm. Though critics argue that the shallow penetration could fail to reach vital organs through thick clothing, the PDX-1's weight retention and broad expansion offer a compelling option for users prioritizing controllable recoil and reliable terminal performance. Speer's Gold Dot series pioneered bonded hollow point technology, and the 90-grain 380 ACP Gold Dot exemplifies the company's commitment to consistency. Pew Pew Tactical lists a muzzle velocity of 1,040 feet per second and emphasizes that the round exhibits uniform, reliable expansion. The bullet features a bonded copper-jacketed hollow point that resists separation and produces a wide expansion diameter, a challenging feat for the diminutive .380 caliber. In ballistic tests, Gold Dot rounds often fall just short of the FBI's minimum penetration depth. However, the consistent expansion helps compensate by creating a larger wound cavity, and the penetration shortfall is marginal, typically around 9 to 10 inches through 4 layers of clothing. Because the bullet expands reliably, there is less risk of overpenetration. Energy is expended within the target rather than passing through, a crucial consideration for urban concealed carriers concerned about bystander safety. Practical considerations set the Gold Dot apart. Speer uses nickel-plated brass casings that enhance corrosion resistance and feeding reliability. Despite the relatively high velocity, the 90-grain weight keeps recoil manageable, making it suitable for recoil-sensitive shooters. Many law enforcement agencies trust Gold Dot ammunition in larger calibers, which lends institutional credibility to the 380 offering. Carriers may feel reassured using a brand with a proven record in duty guns. On the downside, Gold Dot rounds tend to cost more and can be harder to find. By excelling at uniform expansion, Speer's Gold Dot demonstrates how modern bonding techniques can give the 380 credible stopping potential. For shooters who prioritize consistency and prefer predictable bullet performance over maximum penetration, the Gold Dot remains a top-tier choice. Its track record and law enforcement heritage make it particularly appealing to carriers seeking a self-defense load that balances performance with controllability. Buffalo Bore is known for producing high-performance ammunition, and its 380 ACP plus P 100-grain hardcast load radically alters what the little cartridge can do. The company's goal was to create a 380 round with superior velocity and penetration, effectively transforming small pocket pistols into serious self-defense weapons. The load uses a 100-grain hardcast lead bullet with a flat nose. This configuration crushes tissue rather than poking through and improves straight-line penetration through bone and muscle. Chronograph tests recorded by the Truth About Guns show velocities around 1,095 feet per second from a Sig Sauer P238, slightly below the advertised 1,150 feet per second, but still impressive for 380 ACP. Accuracy remained acceptable for a pocket pistol, with 1.5-inch groups at 10 feet and 3-inch groups at 15 yards. Recoil was greater than standard 380 loads, but still manageable. The ballistic gel test produced astonishing results. Even at distances up to 15 yards, bullets zipped completely through clear ballistics gel blocks and wood backers. The tester could not recover complete bullets because they penetrated so deeply. Such penetration comes with trade-offs. While the flat nose creates ragged wound channels and crushes material, the bullet does not expand. Over-penetration is a legitimate concern. The reviewer cautioned that these bullets are exceptionally hard to stop and may carry through the target with substantial residual energy. This makes the load more suited to outdoor or wilderness defense, for example, against wild animals, than typical urban concealed carry. Still, for shooters who insist on maximum penetration from a .380 and are comfortable managing hotter recoil, the Buffalo Bore Plus P Hardcast round illustrates how far the cartridge can be pushed. Underwood's Extreme Defender isn't a traditional hollow point at all. Developed by Lehigh Defense, this 68-grain monolithic copper bullet uses a fluid transfer monolithic (FTM) design with optimized flutes. Rather than relying on expansion, the sharp flutes force tissue and fluid inward and then radially outward, creating a large permanent wound cavity. Because the projectile does not deform, it remains barrier blind, meaning intermediate obstacles like wallboard or automotive glass have minimal effect on its penetration and wound track. The performance numbers are impressive for such a lightweight bullet. Underwood lists a muzzle velocity of 1,300 feet per second and energy of 255 foot-pounds. Penetration depth can reach up to 18 inches while staying within FBI guidelines. And because there is no hollow cavity to clog, the wound channel remains consistent across clothing or light barriers. The monolithic copper construction is lead-free and enhances penetration while reducing bullet weight, which helps keep recoil low. Several features make this round attractive for pocket carry. Nickel-plated brass cases improve feeding and resist corrosion, and Underwood uses flash-suppressed powder to reduce muzzle flash in low-light encounters. The solid bullet also offers a streamlined manufacturing process and consistent quality. However, because the projectile does not expand, some shooters worry about over-penetration. The high energy and deep penetration, up to 18 inches, mean carriers must be mindful of their environment and backstops. By eschewing traditional expansion for fluid dynamic wounding, the Extreme Defender shows how far .380 technology has come. This load appeals to shooters who demand barrier performance and who may carry in situations where intermediate obstacles are likely, e.g., vehicle defense. It also illustrates that modern monolithic projectiles can give the .380 a wound cavity comparable to larger calibers, making it a compelling choice for those who value innovation. All right, y'all, that is going to wrap this one up. Hopefully, this helped you see why the so-called weak .380 has made such a big comeback in the pocket carry world. Jump down in the comments and let me know which .380 load you trust your life with, or if you are still riding the 9mm train every day. If you got anything out of this video, hit that like button, make sure you are subscribed, and turn on the bell so you do not miss the next one. I will see you in the next video, and as always, hold them down.